If someone came in my dreams saying, Elizabeth, you don't have MS, you're going to wake up being able to run and swim and go into my artist studio and paint a gorgeous picture.
Would I give up my condition to be unfit and better if I give up all the knowledge I gained?
So the $1 million question is,
would you give up would you give up everything you've learned from living with your chronic condition in order to be normal?
To be able-bodied and be able to rock high heels and go out and dance and, party and be young and free and not have any repercussions.
Would I give up my experiences and lessons from living with owls to walk again, to talk again, to sing and dance again? Would I give up my experiences with ALS to eat food again, to taste and smell again, to breathe on my own again, and to not have to live with a tube in my throat?
When I think about this question, the first thing that I thought about was the bad days, the days where my tics make my back hurt, and my neck hurt, and my legs hurt, or my arms, or I'm tired, and I'm sleepy, and I'm ready to take a nap, and my body's telling me that I need to rest. I thought about that first.
Parkinson's, pretty much controls most of my life. It affects how I sleep, how I eat, how I walk, how I move, how I look even, so, and not in necessarily good ways, so.
I remember being in the hospital when I was recovering and I was learning how to read and tie my shoes, and all I knew was that I could do it before, and I would sit there and cry and sit there and think about how hard life was going to be now that I had, cracked my neck and had a stroke.
As you can see, I'm in the hospital now. I just had my second microvascular decompression brain surgery for trigeminal neuralgia, and this procedure was far more successful than the first. I can tell you that already.
This experience made me lose myself completely. And I know that sounds horrible, and honestly it was. For the first year, I grieved the loss of myself and my abilities to be a rock star mom or rock star wife or rock star nurse. I could barely walk.
A lot of my injury, I kind of feels like a focal point for me. My life really began when I woke up in the hospital in 2018. I don't remember a lot of my life before it.
I made good money, but man, it was stressful. And I was always on the go, always moving back and forth from here to there. Now it's just chill with home and my smelly dog and watch the birds.
I am 53 years of mistakes and accomplishments, pain, suffering. All of that makes up who I am, to include 3 years of trigeminal neuralgia, 3 years of pain that I cannot begin to explain to somebody, 3 years of deep depression, 3 years of impacts to my family that really took a toll on us. I mean, naturally, most people would say, no, I'd be happy to never feel another shock again and move on with my life. But that's not me.
No, I kind of enjoy being messed up. I was gonna say fucked up, but maybe that might not be a good thing to say.
At that point in my life, would I have gone back and said, oh, I wish I didn't crack my neck? If I was looking at my hospital bills, yes, I wish I didn't crack my neck. But at the end of the day, my life started when I woke up in the hospital at 2018.
I have been gifted by this experience, the good, the bad, the ugly. I've been gifted perspective, more strength, more empathy, and deeper connections with the people that I love.
The thing that chronic illness has really given me that's a gift is getting to know myself.
If I was to lose that, if I was to give up all those lessons, my fear would be I would return to a life where I just didn't value those things as much as I do today. And for me, no price is worth that.
When I first was grappling with transverse myelitis, I was living by myself. I was not in a romantic relationship. And I really saw how my friends and my family stepped up for me in a way that was stunning. And I've talked about this in another video. I wouldn't give up that experience for anything because, well, it's hard to ask for help and it's hard to be the center of attention and embarrassing, and it also was something that I needed to experience.
I have such a new level of love for myself, a new level of love for my family, my husband, my kids, a new level of appreciation for what I do have and what I can still do, even though I don't base my worth off of what I can do now. I base my worth off of what a resilient freaking person I am, man. I have been through hell and back, and I'm still standing and I'm still smiling.
Our prompt this month is, would I give up everything that I've learned as a person with a chronic illness
To be totally and utterly cured of the disease.
Fully and forever cured tomorrow.
Oh, this question is definitely a weighty one.
I think this is the part where the theme of Jeopardy starts to play.
No, I would not. I definitely would not give up everything that I have learned from my journey. I wouldn't.
Yes, 100% in a second.
Well, I mean, I would say no.
Well, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be hitting reset on my whole personality.
I definitely would not. Like, my answer is a solid no. No, not at all. Never. What is this one? Not in a million years. Just no.
I would absolutely say no. I would not want to be cured tomorrow if I had not learned all the things that I'm learning.
Well, I wouldn't be me without my disease, but then I kind of landed on a soft yes because I realized that, like, to my core, at least I'd still be me.
And my answer today, in May of 2021, is no.
And then I kind of flip-flop back to, well, I would have more energy because I wouldn't feel sick all the time.
Of course I would. How could you not want to regain so much functioning, so many aspects of my former life, and only have to give away some intangible lessons? Although what part of me is answering that? The one that measures everything in terms of gains and losses is not my higher aspects. It is my ego, or small self.
But no, I would give up being where I am because you know what? I did so much before that I don't think you could ever do what I did now.
I have learned to just love myself. I never would have been able to say that with a straight face before.
I don't know. The idea to be cured of Parkinson's fully is not really even in my mind. I don't know. I guess what I mean by that is like I've accepted the fact that this is who I am and that this is like how I'm going to have to deal with life and that it's not going to go away and that, you know, there is no magic person with the ability to grant me this wish. So I need to try to make the best of my life as I can with having Parkinson's. So yeah. Which I guess is a good thing. At some level I've accepted that this is like who I am and that this is what my life is going to be from here on out. So
I've learned not only about my Tourette's, but myself in general. I'm not going to go backwards.
When you're forced to just accept what is and accept your body and your new life and your new normal, you really either have to put in the work or just give up. And I'm not the giving up type.
I remember being in the hospital, and as I would learn all these things about reading and writing and tying my shoes and kind of healing in these leaps and bounds, I was kind of under the impression that no matter what happened, this was going to be a kind of part of my story. And I remember someone telling me, the Shakespeare quote, that the past is prologue. And no matter what this is, it's still a part of my story. And there's no changing the past. So kind of thinking about it in that regard really is only harmful. I don't like regret is something that I feel is really wasted if you don't utilize regret to make your life better and learn from it.
My symptoms are getting worse, and from what I understand, that's probably the trajectory for me. And so I'm also sort of trying to make sense of that. But I still think in a few years I would probably answer the same way, because I don't really know exactly why we're on this planet, this pale blue dot, other than to learn every day and to connect with people. And having transverse myelitis and everything that's come with it has helped me to do both.
I recognize that a part of me will always say, yes, I will trade these lessons and experiences of ALS to regain my functioning. That voice is not all of me. Humans are multi-layered, complex beings. Some of our most inspiring aspects come from our hidden and intangible elements, like our experiences and spiritual growth. Spirit is of the unseen, infused into all the physical world. The intangible experiences and lessons of our life nurture the kernel of our soul to grow and blossom. From that perspective, the original question could be, would I give up my soul to not have this disease? Of course not.
So I am not Susie Sunshine, but I really love my life, and I wouldn't change a thing today. Not talking about tomorrow, but today.